I'm Justin, and welcome to Lifespring. I'm so glad that you're here with us today. If you're new here, we want you to feel right at home. And if you've got kids with you, we want you to know that we have a fantastic kids program. And it's not too late to sign them in. Just head to the TV area underneath the TV, and you can sign them in there. Here, we believe that family matters, and we're willing to reach yours whatever it takes. We're about to show you some ways this happens and get you started with some great worship here very soon.
Each Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30, we have fam nights here at the church. We have adult Bible study, youth group, and children's programs. Fun for all ages. We follow the school calendar, and we hope to see you there. Sunday, November 25th, is our combined Thanksgiving service at 10:45. We will eat lunch afterwards. Sunday, December 2nd, is our annual Christmas play during the 10:45 service. Come support our kids. They've worked really hard.
There are so many more great things coming up, so be sure to check us out at Lifespring11182018A and our Facebook page as well. If you're new with us here today, we would love to connect with you and serve you in any way possible. To help us with that, please fill out one of these white Connect cards and put it in the VIP box behind you. You'll get a free gift bag, a call from Pastor Nate, and some of our team leaders will be reaching out to you as well. At this time, please stand as we begin our worship.
much for being here. It's really fun worshiping with you all. I wanted to go ahead and have us greet one another, but before we do that, I have an announcement. Today it might look a little bit weird because most of our people are gone on the youth convention with Nate and Jacob and all of our section here mostly. But I do have an announcement from that, and I wanted to share. It's kind of a big deal. So we had 2 people that went with our group specifically that got saved last night. So I think that's awesome, and we just wanted to give a big celebration for. So just be praying for them, for safe travels on the way back, and just be praising God for that. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and take a second and greet those around you. Let me know, shake your hand.
That's great. Of course, that's impressive.
If you guys will go ahead and make your way back to your seats, and we're going to continue worship. At this time, we're going to go ahead and collect our offerings. So if you wouldn't mind grabbing the baskets at the end of your rows and passing them down. If you're unable to give today in the form of this offering, you can always give online on our website, or you can download the app. Or there's also a box on the wall if you would like to give in that form. If you guys can stand, we're going to continue to sing.
Walk in the same old road for miles and miles.
arms wide open, pouring out my heart, gracefully broken. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. You guys can have a seat. And kids yours this.
Hey, well, if I wasn't choking back the tears of nervousness already, those songs are just perfect for what I have planned to share today. When Nate sent me the text with the theme and what all for today, let's see if I can get back to it. It was interesting because he says the theme for today is supposed to be God's timing. God always does what he says. God's timing is different than ours. Trust God while you are waiting. And the first thing that popped in my head was being okay while I wait. Now that's a definition of patience that one of our kindergarten teachers at Maximum Child tries to teach to 3-year-old children. 3-year-old children, okay? Another thing that you guys might recognize is a bit of prose. It was written by a guy named Robert Fulghum in the 80s. And it was all I ever needed to know. I learned in kindergarten. Have you seen that? And it says, this is a portion of it. Share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back where you found them, clean up your own mess, don't take things that aren't yours, say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. These are expectations of character, these are decision-making skills, emotional self-control that we expect from children. Okay, children. And yet we as adults, even Christian adults, struggle with some of these. Even the secular mind can wrap their minds around the fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, self-control, gentleness, kindness. If you see posters in public schools, they'll say, be respectful, be kind, wait your turn, and all this kind of stuff, right? These are children, kindergarten children, elementary children. I can guarantee you that the most atheistic pagan teacher your kids may ever have in school are going to insist on the fruit of the Spirit in your classroom. You know how I know that? Do they allow the kids to just rush the cafeteria line? Do they allow the kids to just rush at their desk and clamor for their attention? No, they expect kids to be respectful and obedient and exercise some kindness, patience, gentleness, and self-control, right? So you're going to find the fruit of the Spirit in the most pagan classroom in the nation, I can almost guarantee you. So we can see from that even the secular mind can wrap itself around goodness, morality, or whatever. And we're going to talk today about Abraham, a hero of the faith. He's the founder of 3 religions, okay? He's the founding father that 3 religions credit. And yet, we're going to find him today guilty of a moral failure, like a grievous moral failure. Abram, as he's called at the time, is living in a totally pagan society when he hears the voice of God to leave his home place. Now, at this point in the story, I can relate to Abram, okay? Because now who knows why in the world we land in young adulthood with some of the notions we have, right? But one of the notions I had was I did not want to marry a pastor, okay? My dad was a pastor, and I just got it in my head I did not want to be a pastor's wife. So go figure, you go to the Church of God College, where you train missionaries and religious leaders. There's a seminary there, but I was so determined not to marry a pastor, I didn't even date seminary students, that type of thing. And y'all might not know this, it's kind of a little well-kept secret, but Tony doesn't have a ministerial degree. He doesn't have a seminary degree. I married a school teacher, okay? He has a bachelor's degree in secondary education. And he went to his hometown of Yuma, Arizona to do his student teaching, and I ended up getting my second thing I wanted, and that was a hometown. Here again, preacher's kid, traveling around. I just had it in my heart and I wanted a hometown. So here I am, my early 20s, married to a teacher. We go back to his hometown where he went from kindergarten through high school with the same group of kids. The 4 years he'd been away at Anderson were the only 4 years he'd been away from Yuma. So we couldn't go out, and it's a small community, we couldn't go out to eat, we couldn't go anywhere in town that we didn't run into somebody he knew or that knew his brother, because his older brother was deputy sheriff by that time. His family had lived there for years and years. So I was starting to get that hometown vibe, you know. People know me, I've got some history, you know, whatever. So imagine this young woman and her husband lets her know, I mean, 2 things in her life are being accomplished here that she wanted. And he lets her know he's sensing a call to the ministry. Okay, I'm a preacher's kid. I know what that means, okay? So I am literally in a shower one day when I hear like a voice basically saying, well, are you going to go? Are you going to go or not? What are we going to do here, kind of thing, okay? And it's so audible to me that I literally say out loud with the shower streaming and the tears streaming, okay, I'll go. Because what Tony wanted to do was go to Bible college at that time, because here again, he didn't have, you know, Bible background or whatever. So I don't take hearing the voice of God lightly. Another thing, a little piece of personal trivia, I turned 60 years old a week ago. So I'm 60 in 1 week as of today, right? I can tell you the experiences that I've had where I felt like I heard the voice of God are 2. Okay, I'm not one of those, oh, God told me, I heard God say, you know, those kind of ritual kind of religious experiences. So to me, that's a big deal, you know. And obviously, I can relate to Abram at this point. It's a big deal. So this young man living in a totally pagan society hears the voice of God to leave his home. And we catch up with him in Genesis 12, verses 1 to 3, where the Lord said, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make into you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. Now, here's what I find fascinating, because this is where my relating to Abram differs. It says in verse 4, so Abram went, as the Lord had told him. I mean, you know, he's got that adventurous spirit, I guess, and it just says, so Abram went, as the Lord told him. So this just makes me pause to think, why the struggle? Why do we, even as Christians, because even as a young adult, I was grounded in my faith. You know, I was a Christian, I was a believer, I'd been a believer for a while by then, but I'm struggling and resisting, you know, this call of God and everything. So why do we struggle with trust in God, faith in God, waiting on God? Why does this have to be the theme of a sermon? It's just so common, right? So this moral failure of Abraham, if you read in the scriptures, Genesis 12, 10 through 16, sometimes when we tell these Bible stories, we sort of gloss over the realities of them. Abraham knows his wife is hot, okay? So hot that it might even cause some problems with the kings and the pharaohs of the lands they're going through. And so he comes up with this ill-fated plan. We're just going to tell everybody you're my sister, okay? Okay, I want your churchy minds to just pause for a minute. Abram is allowing his wife to go into the bed of the Egyptian Pharaoh. He's basically presenting his wife as a sex slave to the Pharaoh of Egypt. Let that soak in for a minute. Good old Abraham, hero of the faith, right? Whew, so we're talking about a moral failure here, okay? But let's look at verse 17. But the Lord inflicted serious diseases on Pharaoh and his household. Sarah couldn't even get near the guy, and he'd start getting all messed up with diseases. Not only him, but his household. Okay? So here we have this pagan king, Pharaoh, and he gets it that God is unhappy. He tells Abraham, you know what, I don't know what's going on here, but he sends Sarah packing back to Abraham, right? Because of all this that's going on. So we see from this something kind of interesting. Bad people can make good decisions, right? Bad people can make good decisions. Bad people can be moral. I've already mentioned, like the teachers, the most pagan boss you'll ever work for. They'll expect you to be there on time, right? You know, there's the fruit of the Spirit, there's the disciplines, there's the work ethic, and this and that and the other, that even the most secular of mine, the most pagan of mine, they don't know it, but they're demanding the fruit of the Spirit in their offices, in their workplace, in their whatever. If you go around a public school, like I said already, you'll see all these different pictures. So what's the difference between a polite, secular, moral person and a Christian believer? You know, have you really kind of grappled with that? Does that kind of just make you mad sometimes? that bad people can reap the benefits of good decisions and that kind of thing?